but it's been a long, long while since the Asset has made the final day of a Euro Tour. And it was a big step for him.
It's a big step in Paul's return to top flight of darts. I mean, I'm pleased for the man, even though he beat me. I'm pleased for him because he's been working very hard behind the scenes, not just with commentary, but I mean on the darts itself. He's really been working hard at it.
Well, one thing that I didn't know, and obviously we commentate with Paul on a pretty regular basis, is Jamie Lewis loses a few points there. He's a long way back in this leg. This should be Nicholson's all day long. But one thing I didn't realise was that he's genuinely been considering whether this would be his last year as a player.
He had been mentioning that to me over the last few months, but if he carries on playing like this and getting results, why would he want to go out?
Well, exactly. I can certainly tell you that the commentators' pay is a lot less than what these lads are earning up on stage. So even just for financial reasons, he'd be better off up there. Double top. And a 14 darter is a very solid start to this one for the Asset.
Solid finishing as well there. That's exactly the way he disposed of me yesterday.
Well, Paul Nicholson.
Deflection there, that was unfortunate for Jamie.
Paul Nicholson, unlike Jamie Lewis, has claimed PDC titles and a big one as well. He won the Players' Championship finals, but he did pick up 4 other ranking titles as well, all in that period between 2009 and 2011. Now, in the subsequent couple of years, he then made a number of finals, but didn't get over the line. And in fact, his run to the final here at the European Darts Trophy in 2013 was the penultimate final in his Roll of Honour so far. Wes Newton beat him in that one.
Thanks for mentioning the Players' Championship final. I think he's supposed to be there as well.
Well, I wasn't going to say Merv, but
I have had my revenge several times since.
Yes. That was only by a couple of legs as well, wasn't it?
It was. It was a great final, to be fair. I enjoyed playing it, even though I wasn't extremely pleased with the result. But there you go. That's darts. If you don't play well enough, you lose.
Well, you know what it takes to win on the European Tour. We saw you do it here a few years ago, beat Michael Smith in the final.
Yeah.
Just this venue. It's ever present on the Euro Tour.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about it, isn't it? It's a unique venue.
It's the mist.
The mist, yeah.
The glass blast mist.
Yeah, it's not really evident at the minute, but it will be as the day goes on. It'll be like watching a darts game in the Johnny Depp film Sleepy Hollow. It's just sort of like a fog that builds here in the Glass Palast. It's very odd. And Peter Wright spoke last year about he believed it affected the flight of his darts. We shall see if that's a factor over the course of today.
Hasn't Peter changed the weight of his darts? He's using them slightly heavier?
He has. He said that yesterday, and he used them to great effect, averaging 110 in his opening.
I would say so.
Opening win.
Nice first dart from Jamie there. Can he set this up? 19 to leave double top. Great darts there from Jamie. With Paul sitting on 104 to go 2-0 up. Bit of pressure there from Jamie.
He's been good at these sorts of finishes this weekend, is Paul Nicholson.
That is not a great start for 103. Very loose start there from Paul. Probably be treble 20 now.
Well, let's see how Jamie Lewis is finishing. Double top the target.
Slightly low. Smack bang in the centre. Lovely dart from Jamie. 1-1 in legs.
Merv, you've seen Jamie on the tour for a number of years now. I mean, he's still a young man, but he started playing at a young age. And there have always been little flashes. He made a Euro Tour final in Gibraltar. He's made finals. He hasn't claimed a senior ranking title as yet. But even for somebody who knows his potential and his talent, his performances at the World Championship must have even taken you by surprise, weren't they? Because they were unreal.
How can I put it? You watched him throughout his early career, and he's always produced a good standard, and some have been excellent standards. I must admit, though, what he actually done in the Worlds, it did take me by surprise. Not the fact that he got to the semi-final, but the way he got there, it was dominant, more or less.
I mean, he took Peter Wright to school in the second round.
Definitely.
And he suddenly seemed to have turned into a 180 machine. I mean, he's even hitting a lot of 180s right up there. And the number 180s being hit on the Pro Tour this year, which he never really classed Jamie Lewis as a big 180 hitter, you know, as a sort of Dave Chisnell or Gary Anderson or whatever. But he's right up there with the most frequent 180 hitters.
I think it just goes to show that what he's got in the tank, you know, it may be, we haven't seen the best of him yet. Who knows? The boy could, or say the boy, he's a lot younger than me. I do apologise for saying that. The young man, I should say. Who knows how far he can go in this game? He might reach the very top.
Well, we shall see. It's going to be exciting finding out, because Jamie Lewis, over the last few months, and it all started with that World Championship, which came after his worst 6 months on the tour. He had to go through the qualifier to get to the Worlds, and he only just snuck in there in the third place. He's left himself 113 for a breaker throw, and Nicholson is being put under pressure to set this up well.
That's a great second dart from Paul. Can he follow it with another one? He certainly can. Lovely 140 there from Paul. Now the pressure's back on Jamie for this 113 finish.
One treble needed. He's got it.
There it is. One dart at tops. Just low.
All you require 46.
Composed himself as he walks to the hockey. 46, I would imagine it would be 6 for tops. No, he's gone 14 for 32, double 16. And gets it. Takes out the third leg. Goes in for a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, more clinical stuff from Paul Nicholson there. Jamie Lewis's performances so far, they've been pretty similar to Paul's. They've been
96.
mid to the low 90s averages, but he managed to hold off Darryl Gurney, the number 5 in the world, for a 6-4 win in the second round. Gurney was averaging not more than 96 in that one. And Gurney started hitting the 180s and coming back at him, and Jamie Lewis just managed to hold him off, because one of the things that's always been evident in Jamie Lewis's game, even when he wasn't, you know, doing things like he did at the World Championship, hitting the 180s and averaging 105, he always seemed to have a good temperament and guts.
The young man's got bottle. Definitely got bottle. I've been on the receiving end of some of his darts before, and I'd done nothing wrong. I was averaging around the 100 mark, and he brushed me aside like I wasn't even there.
Yeah, he's a very, very impressive young man, is Jamie Lewis. Seems to take things in his stride. But I think what you've got to remember, even though he's a young man, he's got a lot of experience. He's been around a while, and that's the first 180 that he's hit. And I'm surprised it's taken 3.5 legs for it to turn up.
True, I thought that would have been a little bit sooner than that. Could we have a reply from Paul of the same? That's 2. It's looking good. Yes. Super darts from Paul Nicholson. I think this game is about to become live.
Well, there's a chance. He wants to stay on the 20s because a flat ton would leave tops.
That's unlucky. But Paul not on a finish with 184. He needs to set this up with Jamie only requiring 80. That's a great start from Paul with the treble. He's blocked his bed slightly.
100. Jamie require 80.
Only 4 points difference in these finishes, but the 80 is slightly easier because you should get a dart at the double where he gets 2.
Only needs the 1.
Well, that's it. I mean, I wasn't even going to start discussing the old Mervyn King route for 80, because then you end up with a dart at the bullseye if you don't hit a treble. But look, it doesn't matter. He's taking it out. Very solid stuff from Jamie Lewis, who does have 4 wins against Paul Nicholson, 5 wins for Paul against Jamie, but significantly, every time they've met over the last 2 years, it's gone Jamie's way. They've usually been tight, 6-3, 6-4, and a 5-3 win in the World Championship qualifier, the one where Jamie eventually went on and nicked that third place, got into the World Championship and made it all the way to the semi-finals.
But there we're going back to with Paul's regeneration in in the darts top flight again. Those 2 years have been where Paul hasn't been at his best.
Yeah, he's struggled with form, confidence, injuries, all kinds of things, Paul Nicholson. But there were signs prior to him losing his tour card that he might be playing a bit better. Played very well at Q School to come through and win his tour card last year. And there have been little things here and there. He's been making lots of board finals and winning a couple of games, but he's not put a significant run together. This is his first appearance in a ranking tournament last 16 for more than a year. But, I mean, you'll know, Merv, you go through spells, and but
I'm going through one right now.
Well, I mean, look, they were different, though, aren't they? Because you've probably never had a period in darts where you've considered walking away, or I'm not sure if I'm up to it at any point. You've had better spells of success and relatively less success, but you've always been up there in the ranking.
I must admit, I'm going through one right at the moment. On the Players' Championships on the floor, I just cannot seem to get through the first round. And I believe it's the last 6 that I haven't. You know,
106.
It does grate on you. I'm playing well, but not well enough. I've got people that are having the game of their life against me, or maybe that's the wrong choice of word. They're playing very well, maybe slightly better than normal, and I'm having my chances, but I'm not taking them. And it's never been quite this long.
Well, Paul Nicholson takes his chance once again. It's another 14 darter, and it's 5 consecutive holds of throw. What do you do then? If you're a player, Paul Nicholson has talked a number of times, spoke to him earlier on, and one of the things that he said is he's particularly proud of the fact that he's been able to play top-level darts despite having 3 separate grips in his career, and he's changed them for different reasons. One, because he was getting tendinitis, it was an injury thing. Then he was getting problems with his shoulder, so he changed again. And he says, when I was growing up and learning the game, I always threw one particular way, and I've had to modify things, but I found that I can still be competitive at the top level. He's had to change things. What do you do as a player to try and get out of a spell of poor form or poor confidence or poor results?
It's not confidence with me. The confidence is still there. It's, to me, I have to play through it. I have to keep doing what I'm doing, knowing that the fact that it served me so well over the years. Why change something that served me well?
If it ain't broke.
Exactly. I mean, just because I'm not doing quite so well at the moment doesn't mean to say that's going to change. In a month's time, I could be winning players' events and looking back and laughing on how I feel at the moment about not getting through the first round. That can change just like you can flick a light switch on and off.
And it's maintaining that faith that it's the next big runs around the corner, and the longer those spells go on, the harder it can get. And I know Paul has struggled with that at times. Former world champion in Stephen Bunting considered walking away from the game about a year and a half ago, and things have started improving for him, although it didn't happen this weekend for him. He was convincingly beaten in his first round game.
Bit of an awkward first start there from Paul. Move to the left, widen the angle. Same result.
57.
He's left to finish, albeit a large one. That's an awkward dart for Jamie as well.
It's a very long dart that Jamie's got as well, isn't it? If he's blocking a bed, then he's much better switching down, and he does so excellently there.
Yeah, the pressure's back on Paul. 150, big ask. But the man's more than capable. Needed the treble 19 to start the combination off.
57.
Surprised he stayed there with the third dart, I must admit.
For a 6th consecutive hold of throw.
38.
This is a chance. Paul Nicholson could start on the bullseye here to try and guarantee a dart for the leg. Would just go straight at the treble 19.
I think the bullseye's coming into play. Yes. Semi there.
Does he like that lie, Merv? Does he like the lie?
68.
That's a well thrown dart.
Jamie requires
Bit unfortunate
32.
there.
I think he did like the lie, just looking at his reaction there.
I think Jamie likes the lie of that second dart.
I think he's particularly pleased with the lie of that second dart.
Game on.
Well, halfway through this game, 6 consecutive holes of throw. If that continues, Paul Nicholson will edge his way through to the quarterfinals. But there is very, very little between them right now. Third 180 for the Assets.
And of course, having the start on that leg has now made it exceedingly difficult for Jamie to break this leg.
Well, the thing is in this one, Nicholson has had some chances to break. There was one chance for Jamie to break.
Dare I mention the chance of
No, don't do that, Merv. Don't do that. You know as well as I do, Mervyn, that the 9-darter cannot happen on the European Tour. We haven't seen one since Ross Smith in 2013. Rob Cross looked like he was going to do it yesterday, and he broke our hearts. But 141 for Paul Nicholson for perfection.
That's unfortunate as well. Great effort there from Paul.
Well, fine effort from Nicholson, and it's another leg on throw with Nicholson. He's had a couple of these where Lewis has just been left in his dust, and that is why Nicholson, averaging around about the 100 mark at the minute, it's way above Jamie Lewis's average. But that's because Jamie has not been challenging consistently enough on the Nicholson throw. And if he's going to keep throwing 11 darters on his throw, he's going to find it very hard to challenge.
I believe Jamie needs to get his first dart up a bit. He's blocking the treble with the first dart, and that's making things very awkward for him.
How do you go about doing that? I mean, obviously, throw it higher, but you're doing that for a reason, aren't you? Whether it's tension, whether it's...
I tend to just up my posture a little bit. Throw it the same and just stand slightly taller so you don't change your throw. Because you've been grooming that throw since you started practicing before the match. So that has become a natural throw, and you don't want to change it just as you get up on the stage.
So how conscious are you, Merv, when you're stood on the oche of things like your posture, your how you're stood? Are you conscious about that? When is it just about setting that up and then concentrating on the throw? You're not thinking about that while you're throwing?
No, of course not. But when your first dart is going into the treble, just under that top wire, that's perfect. So you maintain what you're doing. If you need to change something, you don't want to change your throw. You want to change your posture just a little bit. Just raise yourself up a little bit and throw it the same, and that should make the dart hit the treble instead of going underneath it.
Have you thought about investing in a corset or some sort of girdle, Merv?
Only at weekends.
Okay, fair enough. And we're back in the game. Jamie Lewis leaves 139 after 9. He's got a couple of visits from here.
Good setup from Jamie to leave tops. Paul, a little way back on 210. Really needs a full house to put some pressure on Jamie here. It's unfortunate. Good guide though.
85, Jamie.
Just a little bit loose that last dart. Not as much pressure as there might have been.
That's a great guide for Jamie. Didn't take it. Yes, a double 10, takes it in 3 darts. And another holder throw.
Well,
Game on.
Nicholson has been challenging more consistently on the Lewis throw to try and get the break that would make it easier for him. Lewis has not had many opportunities to break Paul Nicholson's throw. That's why you're seeing the disparity in those averages. However, it is 4-4, and it only takes one strong leg from Lewis on the Nicholson throw to just steal it away from him. And it would be a heartbreaker for Paul, because this is about as well as he has played on a big stage in a very, very long time.
He needs to keep his composure and hold his throw strong.
There you see, 14, 14, 11. That 17 darter, that was the third leg, the one chance where Jamie Lewis has had a chance to break. He missed the double for 113 checkout. All the others, Paul Nicholson has been very, very strong, and he has stopped Jamie Lewis from getting those opportunities. And the finishing has been good, but this ninth leg, they're so often crucial ones. And look at that, 3 on a pinhead, all above the 60.
You could fit those 3 inside a polo mint without breaking it. Jamie seems to be taking advantage of that slack throw from Paul.
100.
Well, Jamie Lewis, I mean, he probably should have been looking at the 18s from 305. However, he's got a narrow advantage. But Nicholson is looking to wipe out entirely.
100.
And he hasn't really punished him at all.
There's that blocker again. Is he going to stay there? No, he's gone down 19s, blocked that as well. But found the treble 18 with the last dart. Great recovery from Jamie.
The one chance that Lewis has had to break throw came with a 1-1-3 check out that he missed the dart at double. Will he get a go at the 1-1-2? He might not. That
Super
is
finish.
stupendous from Paul Nicholson.
Super finish from Paul there. Under pressure. Great finish.
Paul Nicholson, it was more than a year since he'd made a last 16 of a ranking tournament.
82.
Until this weekend.
Could we see the break of throw in this leg to seal the match for Paul Nicholson?
43.
Not with darts like that, I'm afraid. Paul's obviously upset with those.
It is more than 4 years since Paul Nicholson made a
100.
ranking quarter-final. He'd done it at the World Cup of Darts. He'd done it on the World Series. But the last time he made a quarter-final of an event, a ranking event, was a UK Open qualifier in February 2014.
Superb darts now from Nicholson. Lovely 180. Bit of pressure onto Jamie Lewis now to hold his throw.
The 180s count is 5-1 in Paul Nicholson's favour. That is a stat you would not have expected coming into this game.
No, I wouldn't say it had been the other way round, but I thought that Jamie would have had a few more than the one.
26.
I thought for one magical moment, Paul Nicholson, a great entertainer in this game, was going to fire in 3 treble 20s followed by 3 treble 1s.
Not a great shot.
I don't know, I would have enjoyed it.
I don't think Paul would.
Paul would have hated it.
Paul really must find a big score here. He's a bit off the pace, even with that 180, but the 26 didn't help.
That at least asks the question. He's just taken out a 158. A 152 should be easier. But he may not get a go.
Is he going to go 12, Paul? He certainly is. What a finish. I think he was debating whether to leave the ball shot alone as Paul was on a big finish, but I think that 158
served as warning.
Yeah.
Well, once again, we see Jamie Lewis demonstrating his bottle. Last leg decider.
78.
Jamie Lewis has felt like the second best player in this game. It has been Paul Nicholson who's been the aggressor. He's been threatening to get that break of throw more than Jamie has throughout this match. He's pulled out 5 180s and the standout finish of 158, and yet he is in danger of losing this match. 10 consecutive holds of throw. We get another. Nicholson's in the quarterfinals. A break, and Lewis steals it.
58.
Was expecting something a little bit higher from Paul there. Jamie really taken advantage.
85.
That's unfortunate.
How do you control the nerves in this situation, Merv, particularly if you've not been in this situation for a while? With a quarter-final on the line, when it's been so long.
You try and concentrate on what you've got to do, just not think about this is the last leg, this is the break of throw, I could lose the match. You just try and play the board as much as you possibly can.
Surely that becomes impossible sometimes. Surely the enormity of the situation.
140.
So very close to this, so very close. It's a great start from Nicholson.
85.
I think that may have been a deflection there, that 5, but he's on a finish.
It's a finish, but the extra 15 points could prove to be crucial.
100.
Try to force one in there. 117, it's easy on 140.
It certainly is. Nicholson looking for a treble 20 first start. And this is it by a long shot.
40.
He leaves himself a 2-darter, but not the 2-darter that you would like. Lewis missed 113 for a break, was denied a chance at 112 for a break, and has 117 for a break and a match.
77.
A well thrown dart, just a little bit too high. Paul's staring at this 100 thinking, I must hit a treble 20 first start, allow me 2 at a double. That's a great guide. No, he's swapping.
He went the Merv route.
60.
Merv route for the 80, and it didn't work for him, and he has to survive more match darts, and it could be heartbreak for Paul Nicholson. The asset can't watch. And Lewis pins double 10 once again. He edges through by the narrowest of margins. The fireball is through to the quarterfinals and will face either Michael